I was always a lonely kid, and there was a question in me all the time that I couldn't formulate, and there was also a mystical urge in me at some point, because the only thing we knew was Christianity as children. That was the only religion that we came across, and we were brought up. I was brought up as a Catholic. My father was a very devoted Catholic man. My uncle was a Catholic priest. So I had this mystic streak in me, and at some point, I wanted to become a missionary, and when I was very young. But by the time I turned 16, 17, I had rejected Catholicism because it didn't bring me any answers of my questions. Who am I? What's the point in life? So when I had just turned 19, I had a friend whose father was the last French governor of Pondicherry. And he told me that there was a caravan of cars driving from Paris to Pondicherry to start a city called Auroville, based on the ideals of a gentleman called Aurobindo. And this city was, Aurobindo had passed away in 1950, but his companion, the spiritual companion, the mother, who herself was a French lady, was actually starting Auroville. So I didn't know anything about India. I had no idea about Sri Aurobindo or Auroville, but I thought that I should go around the world, and that I would find answers to my question by this going around the world alone and leaving my family and my education behind. So I started with this caravan. We drove from Paris to Pondicherry. It was a rather hectic trip because we had only second-hand cars and the roads were very bad in those days. We had a lot of adventures. I wrote a book in French on this caravan called The Inner Caravan. And then we reached Delhi. And I spent my first night in Delhi in the Sri Aurobindo ashram. I don't know if you know Delhi. Now, today it's a huge compound called the Mother School, one of the best schools in India. But in those days, it was still in the fields. This part of Delhi was not developed yet. And there was this house in the fields. And it was evening, and I climbed on one of the vans. There were two vans and three cars. I climbed on one of the vans and opened a book of Sri Aurobindo, and I read a few lines, and I had a deep spiritual experience that I'd come home.